What do you feel when the leaves begin to fall? There are some people who don't like it, you know. It reminds some people that summer is over. Some people look around at the orange leaves, they pull their sweaters on, they rub their upper arms, and they say, "This is not for me." And the thing is, they're entitled. Autumn is not for everyone. Is it for you?
When God created October, he said this is when we're going to play college football.
You're preparing to go to war. You're preparing a group of men to go out into battle, armed differently, but yet that's basically the scenario of a football game. You know, could we actually overcome the odds that are here before us?
I once was taking a midnight bus from Syracuse to New York, and I sat down on the bus, and the man sitting next to me began humming and singing college fight songs. And I turned to him and I said, "Is that your alma mater?" And he said, No, it's the football season, and I love it.
It is the only game that truly reflects the American century. 100 years ago, college football was nothing more than a series of chaotic collisions on muddy courtyards. It was an outburst more than a game, expressed by men who wanted to be more than they were, but weren't. They were all passion and no craft. They were screaming in unison, but they had not yet found their voice.
Their fathers, and perhaps for some of them their grandfathers, had been in the Civil War. They had had this kind of manly experience, and many of these young men were looking for something to just show that they were rough, tough, able people. And certainly football typified this kind of rugged, kind of almost frontier-like experience that many of these people craved.
The men who rose up from that time became some of America's most essential heroes. These men reached into the earth with their bare hands and drew lines and trenches and battle plans. They saw chaos, and they invented a means of control. They inspired millions to follow in their footsteps, and millions more to mark their progress every Saturday, every autumn.
If you believe in reincarnation, Thomas Jefferson came back as Newt Rockne.
We're going inside them. We're going outside them. Inside them and outside them. And when we get them on the run once, we're going to keep them on the run.
By mid-century, the game took shape. It evolved, not steadily, but through inspired leaps. Individual men redefined the possibilities of the game. They made the impossible possible. Their actions all communicated the same message. I dare you to look away.
Red Grange gets the opening kickoff and goes 95 yards for a touchdown. Soon after that, he goes 67 yards for a touchdown from scrimmage. Then he goes 56 yards. Then he goes 44 yards. All this in the first 12 minutes of the game.
It didn't take any genius to know that Jim Brown was special. I mean, when I used to tell people about him, I would say that he had legs like telephone poles, except there weren't any telephone poles that strong.
When I started getting recruited, I remember one guy from Ohio State saying that blatantly. He says, you know, let's be honest with each other, you're not a college quarterback.
Now he scrambles away from one hit. Looks, unforks the deep one for the end zone. Phelan is down there. Oh, he got it! He got it! He got it! Touchdown! 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 Touchdown, Boston College! Flutie did it!
Notre Dame and Miami hated each other. This was the famous game where T-shirts were printed, Catholics versus convicts.
We had a cocky group, almost to the point of people saying that we were too confident.
Whatever they wrote, whatever they said, Jimmy was smart enough to use it. He said, okay, let's just go show them what convicts do.
There's a fight before the game, and it's a serious fight. When guys are getting kicked, guys are getting elbows, guys are getting drilled up against the walls of the tunnel. Both teams go back into their locker room, and Holtz comes in, and suddenly it's silent. and Holt says, I want you to focus on this game. I want you to play football. But if there's a fight, save Jimmy Johnson for me.
The icons and images of college football came to define the American palate. The Four Horsemen, the Heisman Trophy, Touchdown Jesus, the play, the Bulldog, the Trojan, and the Seminole. These phrases open up floodgates of passion. They are the crowning achievements of a million glorious afternoons. Today, college football traditions are nothing less than American anthems.
The person who dots the I, what else is there? The lottery, forget the lottery. Forget being president. He dotted the I.
The first day, you get your head shaved, and you go out into the orientation by the superintendent, and at the end you say, beat Army. So right away you know that this is a big deal. I mean, everything you do, it's afterwards you say, beat Army.
If Auburn and Alabama played on Sundays, there wouldn't be a word as church in the state.